Testing, testing, COVID-19, COVID-19. I don't need a brolly.
No?
I'm from England.
My mistake.
We're waterproof.
No wonder Kieran set me up.
And you should do that. I'm going to get shouted at now because I've got wet. I've been here since August when it was sunny. I've been here at minus 30 in blowing snow.
Minus 36. Yeah.
Minus 36. I've been here in the rain. I've got every comorbidity there is. I've hugged almost every one of you. I haven't worn a mask since this started. I haven't social distanced. I'm a really bad boy, Dina. But guess what? I'm still here! Why am I not dead? It's raining. I've got pulmonary fibrosis. This should put me in hospital. But I don't know who's looking after me. I think it's all of you. Because I've never been more healthy. Now, this week, we move forward with steps that I didn't believe were possible even in a communist country. The statements by a doctor from the Mazankowski that was designed for one purpose and one purpose alone, to intimidate and to terrorize. He warned you about the people on ECMO, the people coming in with heart attacks, when actually they were having heart attacks and testing positive afterwards. That same doctor who was standing there fear-mongering for the political gains of the government at their bidding was standing outside a hospital he knew had no COVID positive patients, even with the PCR tests they're using, where Kenny says, who cares about false positives? The COVID Loves campaign of fear and intimidation has one purpose: to scare the public. I actually put a video up and titled it, Scare Media. You might be recognizing a theme here. Yesterday, a justice wrote an order affecting every single person in this province, requiring that you prove your innocence to him. It is the justice that wrote the orders, wrote the case law on Meads versus Meads. Meads versus Meads is the case law that calls out the common law sovereign citizen freemen on the land who have courts that only require that somebody comes in as an accuser and says, she's a witch. I'm exaggerating here, but that's effectively what it is. He actually wrote the case law and called them out. Calls them crazy people. Calls it gobbledygook. Because they don't follow due process. They don't follow a recognised legal system. And this same justice, on the word of an accuser, Dina Hinshaw, told him, they're all witches. Go lock them up. Yeah, I think she's suffering from mirror syndrome. To all my colleagues and to Justice Assistant Chief Justice Rook, please go and have a word with your boss and explain what you just did. The overstepping of power to actually name a John and Jane Doe, effectively putting in place yourself above all other laws. You turned a ticketed offence into a criminal offence, something that cannot be done outside of that building. I'm sorry, but you are not in charge of this province, and neither is Dina Hinshaw. I'm going to thank my colleagues in the sheriffs here and EPS, hopefully, who actually didn't put out a statement supporting that insane order. An order that is filled with bias, is filled because, sadly, we have a justice that appears to have been taken in by those intimidation tactics and lies. And instead of actually demanding before the most horrendous and overreaching court order impacting every single person's life in Alberta was written, he didn't look at a single piece of evidence. If he had done, this would never have happened. He turned it into a criminal offence, something that even Dina Hinshaw and Jason Kenney have not tried to do. If you go shopping with your loved one and decide not to wear a mask, and a police officer decides that is an offence that you should prove you haven't committed in court, well, before that would have been a ticket. Now it's contempt of court. All you people wearing masks, you go meet with somebody who isn't from your household, because we all break the rules a little bit, don't we? Just as long as they benefit us. Those anti-mask people, we're not anti-mask people. We're looking for our freedom back. Yeah, well, you every single one of you, and I know judges out there, and you know who you are, who broke the rules, who had people over for dinner, tried to make it look like you didn't. Yeah, you're not that smart. Yeah, well, now that's a criminal offence. Luckily, the sheriffs here have more sense than that justice did. I hear over and over again people ask me, both the common law people insane on one side and the government masked people insane on the other side, what is it we're doing? What are the answers? What is your solution? This here today is part of that solution. This is what gives people hope and recharges batteries. If it wasn't for you people here, I'm pretty sure I would have been dead this year. With my health conditions, with the snow and the rain, and being in the middle of a respiratory pandemic that's killing everyone, why am I not dead? So here's the solution. I've been talking about it a lot, but maybe this time you can listen. We have here on these grounds level 1 peace officers under the Peace Officer Act, the sheriffs. I have the greatest respect for them. Oh, where'd my badges go? I have badges. Ah, they're on the table at home. I have got the badges. You've seen them before. They have authority over all provincial properties. They hold rank above the level 2 peace officers that currently are preventing sick people from getting treatment in the hospitals. So go over and pull rank. Go over to the Stollery and find out what's going on. Take some of your colleagues from EPS with you. Go find a couple of doctors and ask them why they're not treating people, and ask them to do it under oath. And when they tell you because they've been threatened that they will lose their jobs if they don't keep quiet, then maybe you'll start doing some investigations. And if you can't get in because the level 2 peace officers don't want to let you in, or doctors don't want to talk to you, I can give you the name of a doctor who's doing celebrity tours in the middle of this pandemic. Abdullah. Yeah, I've got the text messages. How about you give some celebrity tours to the chief of police? Go show them around, but not just to the people that you handpicked to push that narrative, but actually show them what's going on and explain to them why the hospital's empty with not a single COVID case and children are not being treated and are being left to die. You want a solution? Then all you need to do is look at the facts. You know what? Prove me wrong. Instead of listening to propaganda, instead of listening to me, go and collect the facts. Do your job and investigate. You will see that there are not hundreds and hundreds of people climbing out of windows dying of COVID. There are people dying. There are people testing false positive. There are people like a 17-year-old kept at home. She died of a strep infection that was untreated. The family has been so terrified and so indoctrinated and intimidated by the lies of this government and the media campaigns that they're convinced she has some new strain, despite the fact that even the hospitals told them over and over again it wasn't COVID. So all of these things are intimidation tactics. All of these things are designed to terrorize a nation. And you know what happens when, for political purposes, and these politicians here talk every day about the politics of COVID, not the reality of it. They talk about how they're getting out. They've got a choice. You can be the defendant or you can be a witness. Your time is up. You want a solution? Well, all of my colleagues, from the police, from the sheriff, from the doctors and nurses, you have the solution. Prove me wrong. You know what? If this is the most deadly thing in the world, I don't know why I'm still alive. I don't know why all you are still alive, standing here in the rain, supporting the people of Alberta who wouldn't look twice at you because they've been intimidated, terrorized by the government. Yesterday, the RCMP put out a statement supporting the judge. Now you're terrorizing people. The sheriff here isn't, and I thank them for that. EPS didn't run to the media slot and put out a statement begging to lock people up. But you know what? My colleagues, you need to do more. You want a solution. You are the solution. If I was still in uniform, I would be the solution with you. But I'm just a little old, disabled, fat guy from England, standing here in the rain, thinking about all the children that are going to die in the coming days and weeks because you wouldn't go and do something as simple as walk around the Stollery. Look at the charts. I can give you the names of nurses to speak to who'll show you what's really going on. Do your job. Because right now, that justice crossed the line. The common law people are going to rise up and there will be blood in the streets, and that is on you. You have the answer. And anybody who's pushing the terror and intimidation, who's pushing the lies, from the NHL to doctors to anyone You will be prosecuted. And there will be an answer. This inflation problem. There's a little known thing about people who get prosecuted for criminal acts, who have profited from those criminal acts. Your assets will be seized. We will pay off our debts with the blood money you have taken. We will pay back the peoples who've lost family members with your money while you rot in jail. But the only way that happens, we're off you here, but we are still here. And we will be here till this ends. So please, my colleagues, think of the children. Think of your children. Because one of them is going to get sick. And if they get told they've got COVID, they'll be left at home to die. If they need some heart surgery, they may just die. And how will you feel when you found out you could have ended this just by going to visit the hospital? Just by looking at the facts that are there. It's game over, guys. You are our last hope. I'm here every week, and I'll be here till the day I die if this doesn't stop. So one last time for this week. Do